I wanted joint custody. I want to be able to actually be the mom. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want no child support.
Do you live by yourself or does someone else live there?
I live with my spouse. Me and my
You're
spouse apartment.
you're legally married.
N- no, ma'am.
Okay.
I have a proposed order, and the terms of my proposed order are as follows.
1 second. How much time will you need?
15 minutes, maybe.
Okay, 15 it is, and you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. My proposed terms are as follows. A temporary order in the case to be referred to district court, a mutual finding of family violence and non-disclosure for both parties. Mr. Akito, the custodial parent, to be appointed temporary sole managing conservatorship with the exclusive right to designate primary residence with no geographic restriction. Standard possession order with exchanges to take place at the custodial parent's grandmother's house to be in the address will be on the order. Child support will be 0. Mr. Akito will carry the health and dental insurance, no medical support, retro and court costs reserved for final hearing. And that's the extent of my proposed order. I will call the non-custodial parent, Ms. Scott, first on the issue of paternity questions. Ma'am, are you the mother of the child?
Yes, sir.
And who is the father of this child?
Jalen Akito.
And have you ever been married either to Mr. Akito or to anybody else?
No,
Could anybody else be the father of this child?
no.
And how old is the child?
1 year old.
Okay. I'll pass the witness and I'll call Mr. Akito. Sir, do you admit or acknowledge that you're the father of this child?
Yes, sir.
And how do you know?
I got my own DNA test.
And it showed
And
positive, correct?
yes, sir. It was nice. It was positive. And I was the only one with her.
Um, now, when does the child turn 2, sir?
May 21st.
And the child currently lives with you, correct?
Yes, sir.
How old were they when they started living with you?
She was 2 months.
Has there ever been any incidents of family violence between you and Miss Scott?
Before Brooklyn was conceived, yes, sir. And
Okay, so
during the
hold
time.
on, wait for a question. So you said before Brooklyn was conceived. So uh, is there a particular incident in mind that you have?
Yeah, with my
When did it happen? Approximately what month and year, if you know?
August 2020, 2021 or
And
2022, I think.
what happened specifically?
Lexi came to my house and she was keeping up noise. She was distraught and she fought my little sister at the time.
Okay, has Miss Scott ever hit you?
A few times, yes, sir.
When was the most recent incident?
When I had to remove her from my house when she was living with us at the time, which was in October.
October of what year?
2023, 2024.
So she was living with y'all as recently as October of 2024.
Yes, sir.
How long had she been living with y'all?
Since Brooklyn was 2 months, so May, July.
It was 3 months.
Okay, hold on, Miss Scott. So Mr. Akito, there's an incident in October of 2024. I think you said you had to remove her from the house. Was Miss Scott hitting you?
Yes, sir.
Did she initiate was she the aggressor?
Yes, sir.
And you grabbed her and removed her from the house?
Yes, sir.
Did you hit her?
No, sir.
Did she damage any of your property?
No, sir.
Were the cops called?
That day, no, sir.
Have you ever had to get a protective or restraining order against her?
No, sir.
Okay, so you said the cops weren't called that day. Have there been other incidents when they were called?
Uh, in August, that would be 2023 when it had happened. So in August of 2023, yes, sir.
And what happened at that incident? Was she hitting you or were you hitting her?
2020. No, that was the day she had came to my house. I think it was 2022 because Brooklyn was born in 2023.
Okay,
So
she came to your house, what, uninvited, or
yeah, it was uninvited. It was around like 1 or 2 in the morning.
was there an
And,
altercation?
yeah, that's when she had fought my sister.
Okay,
Well, her and my
and the
sister
cops
had
were
fought each
called?
other. Yes, sir.
What did the cops do when they got there?
Obviously asked about what happened and stuff, and they had asked if we want to press charges and things of that nature. I wasn't pressing charges, no, sir.
Was anybody arrested?
No, sir.
Have you ever pushed or hit Miss Scott
Yes, sir.
where you were the aggressor?
No, sir.
So you're saying always in self-defense.
Yes, sir.
Um, are you in agreement to be appointed the sole managing conservator of the child?
Yes, sir, for sure.
I'm not right.
Are you okay with the standard possession order where exchanges would take place at your grandmother's home?
Yes, sir.
1 second, Ms. Scott, keep your face in the screen. And I have a question of you, sir. So, since the child has been born, you and the mom and the baby live together as a family unit?
No, no, ma'am.
You have never lived in the same house together?
No, so before the baby was conceived, we did live in an apartment together. I ended up leaving back to my granny house, and that's why situations happened with we was never together, like as in we was messing around with each other.
Listen to my question. Didn't you just
No,
in October and you had to put her out?
Yeah, she lived with my mother because we had took her from not took her, but she was in a bad situation and I didn't want to be with her. So my daughter lived with me and I live with my grandmother right now. So I had her live with my mother. And she was at the house, my granny house.
So you mean Miss Scott lived with your mom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let me make sure, and correct me if I have this incorrect.
I got you.
You have had the baby living with you without the mother since what age of the child?
October
No.
of 2023. So
what
no,
age was the baby?
I'm trying to calculate it because October 2023, May, June, July, August. So May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. She was like 7 months.
Okay, so the baby has lived with you since 7-month-old in a residence, just you and the baby and mom not there.
Yes, ma'am.
To present.
Yes, ma'am. To present. Yes, ma'am.
And the baby right now is again how old?
1.
Okay. And so Miss Scott, you're saying was living with your mom and disturbance occurred over there, and you're saying that you put Miss Scott out of your mom's house.
So the disturbance had occurred at my grandmother's house. It was a buildup of the reason why we had her over there is because we wanted her to get on her feet. Me personally, because obviously we're not together, but she is my baby mother's child. So we was trying to help her get on her feet, and it was for a minute that happened. I told you since Brooklyn was 2 months, so that was like in July, and then October come.
So I want to ask my questions. I don't want you to tell me everything that has happened. So how did it come about that you would get to keep the baby and the baby's not with Miss Scott?
The fact that when I had put her out because she wasn't trying to get on her feet and we had a situation where, she was the aggressor, I had kept Brooklyn and she went on her way. She wasn't like in a stable place. So she, obviously couldn't keep the baby if she's not in a stable home. She's bouncing from place to place. And that's why I just had her ever since. And we had mutual agreements on when she could get her, when she was stable, when she could see her, whenever point she was stable, things of that nature.
So has she not been working? What was the instability of Miss Scott?
She can't keep a job and can't keep a place to stay. Right now, she's okay, but just as for a whole in general, she can't,
So how long, in your opinion, has she been okay?
Probably for about a month and a half right now, to my knowledge. I don't know everything, but to my knowledge, for about a month and a half.
All right, go ahead, counsel. So you're saying that you've never put your hands on her first. That's your testimony. She's always been the aggressor.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you're requesting a family violence finding, you're requesting that you keep the baby, and you're requesting a non-disclosure finding, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, move on, counsel.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Akito, are you requesting any child support today?
No, sir.
Now, how's the child currently covered for insurance?
Medicare or Medicaid.
Through you?
Through my great grandmother.
Okay. Do you have access to insurance through your employer?
I'm through my grandmother. Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. And are you in agreement to carry the child on your employer's health and dental insurance?
Yes, sir.
Are you requesting any sort of medical support from Ms. Scott?
No, sir.
If the judge were inclined to grant a final ruling today, are you going to be requesting any sort of retroactive support at all?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll pass the witness and call Ms. Scott. Ma'am, is it correct that there was an incident in October?
Yes, of October
Okay.
2024.
Yes. He says that he put you out. Is that correct?
Yes, he threw me out.
Okay. Were you the aggressor or was he the aggressor?
No, I had texted him. It was October 31st. It started.
Okay. Who swung at who first?
Let's just stop. Was that at his grandmother's house, his mother's house? Okay, so you were living over there with them, away from him and the baby. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And some disturbance went on over there, and you're saying he was the aggressor and put you out of his relative's house.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, was the police called?
No.
Has the police ever been called for any family violence between you and him?
No, ma'am.
Have you ever been granted restraining orders or protective orders against him or vice versa?
No, ma'am.
All right. Have you ever put your hands on him first?
Yes, it was a time just as well as he have, and I literally got beat.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. You've admitted that. Thank you. Next question is, how did it come about that he got to keep the baby and the baby didn't come with you? That's
because when he beat me out the house, I asked for my baby back, but they did say once I have somewhere to go, they would give Brooklyn back.
Okay, you froze on my end.
I've never got her back because honestly, yes, Jalen is right. Then I could not keep a job. I did not have my own roof. I was there. I did at first, but I was in an abusive relationship. So I called the grandmother to take my child out of the environment, but they took me and her. So I end up staying with Jalen's mother. And Jalen stays
so part of it is, Ms. Scott, you keep calling his family, his mom and his grandma to help you. That's right. Isn't that how they're getting involved?
Ma'am?
Isn't that how they're getting involved? You're calling his mom and his grandmother to assist with the child, and you've lived with them, right?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. But that's not how you're like. I ended up just started like living with them. I originally did not call to stay with them. It was to bring my baby out of the
at the end of the day, you stayed with them. They were helping you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So bottom line, you used his people to help you and the baby, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you've been out on your own how long?
Are you talking about from when I was staying with them?
Right now. How long have you been in your own spot?
I've been here for 3 months.
Okay. Do you live by yourself or does someone else live there?
I live with my spouse. My spouse's apartment.
You're legally married?
No, ma'am. Just my boyfriend.
Okay. So make sure you're telling me the truth. So it's your boyfriend. Is this the boyfriend that you were having issues with before with the abuse?
No, ma'am.
This is a new boyfriend. Okay. So just you and him live there?
Yes.
Do you work?
Yes.
Where do you work?
Whataburger.
How long have you worked there?
For 3 months.
Okay. And what did you do before Whataburger?
I didn't have a job.
How long you did not have a job?
I didn't have a job for about going on like 4 months.
Why?
Transportation, no car, living. my living arrangements, things like that. I basically,
You have a car now?
yes,
Your car or boyfriend's car?
my car.
Okay. And prior to the 4 months that you were not working, where did you work prior to that?
Only thing I can really get is like a Whataburger, I worked at Whataburger. That's like the main thing, and I worked at a dietary, Lancaster Rehab Center. I worked there also, and I
All right.
worked there for about 3 months.
Okay.
To
Are
get
you a Dallas County?
ma'am.
Do you live in Dallas County?
Yes, ma'am.
I got a free jobs program to assist you. So if you don't have a GED, they'll help you get one. If you don't have your high school, they'll help you to get a better job. I'm gonna put you in that program because I want you to be able to take care of you, your obligations, and the baby. You got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Your initial meeting will be with them today. They're gonna put you in the breakout room with Miss Teresa Johnson, okay? All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
So what are you requesting today?
I wanted joint custody. I want to be able to actually be the mom. I don't want no child support. Jalen know me.
Okay.
No, I am. I'm not the mother that don't want to be a mom. I have things I have to personally work on to be a mom.
Okay.
I'm literally planning on going to counseling. I have to go to counsel.
Okay.
Mental health is what I have to get better on to be a mother.
Okay. Well, it's good that you're acknowledging that. So I have a question for you. Since you said you got some other things to work on, you don't think it's in the child's best interest to stay in the most stable home at this point and just visit the child instead of just uprooting the stability of the child? Because that's part of being a mom and dad too, is to make the best decision for the child, right?
Yes, ma'am. Not.
So would it not be in the best decision of the baby to stay in the stable environment and you continue to work on you and then just have visits?
I'm scared that she get older. She just
Mhm.
like I don't love her or why she wasn't here. I
Got it.
don't want her taking my whole. I don't want that. Right now, I understand that I do need that. But like, say 5 or 4 years from now, and I got a career, I have everything. I want to be able to come to my baby father and work it out and say, "Can I have my baby too? Can I? I don't want this like toxic."
I understand. I hear you.
Can you
You
stay
want to be a
clear?
part, wait, sir. She wants to be a part of the baby's life. She's admitted she got some things to work on. She understands that. That's part of being a parent. She's admitting that she's not perfect. None of us are perfect. She got some things to work on.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, counsel for the state, you're asking that the case be referred up. Why?
Well, because Miss Scott was requesting primary custody, and on a contested custody issue, I figured district court might be the best venue for that. But I suspect that you might have already made your decision.
Okay. So let me tell you what I'm gonna do. One, I am going to find mutual family violence and a mutual non-disclosure finding. That means I cannot have joint managing conservatorship because the law will not when I find family violence. Sole managing conservatorship is going to go to dad at this time. He will decide where the baby lives. Possessory is the mom. However, mom, you're going to have visitation. You're going to have standard visitation. Every other weekend, Friday at 6 to Sunday at 6. Every other weekend, rotating holidays, having time for spring vacation, summer vacation. Okay? Now, the exchange location, that's your drop off and pick up. You're not to go to each other's house. Now, as being a mom, you're supposed to protect her from everyone. So that means boyfriend, girlfriend, anybody else. Because if not, she's going to tell that other parent, and she should. And then there's going to be a consequence for you and whoever that significant other is. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.